All right, once again, good evening. You're welcome to tonight's session. Tonight's free webinar. Yes, though it's going to be free, but it's going to be a very impactful session. Most times when we do free sessions in our company, we have two companies anyway. My name is Dr. Adedamola Olofa, so I'm your host for tonight, and also tomorrow night as well. But tomorrow night will be doing something very different. Tonight is about this, the nuances and the strands of the British curriculum framework. The British curriculum framework. Yeah. We'll be focusing on checkpoints and IGCSE under CAIE. Please note that I don't represent Cambridge assessments. I don't represent CAIE. I'm just British curriculum expert. So when I'm in British curriculum expert, when it has to do with teaching and learning under British curriculum, I specialize in Cambridge stuffs, but I'm not working with them. Okay, so that's just a simple disclaimer, very simple disclaimer, so that you won't tell somebody, I saw one of your people training us. I'm not one of their people. I am just an educator of more than 30 years with experience in the nursery, preschool, primary, yeah, in the lower secondary, as well as upper secondary. I've also been privileged to have worked in the university before I went solo. It's our custom in economics consulting and education business school to give back to society when it comes to the field of education. So this is just one of the things, one of it that you're enjoying tonight. We give back to society, to our circle of influence. We've been doing this since 2017 by God's grace. We offer free sessions each time, like times like this. So for tonight, and we've been doing free sessions, I think, since mid-July. Is it either mid-July or mid-July of this year, or probably early July? We've been doing free sessions, and we cover 3 areas in our free sessions. We cover learning strategies, 21st century learning strategies. We also cover aspects of the British curriculum, and then leadership, school leadership trainings, school leadership trainings. Those are the 3 major areas. We have other areas that we cover in our education business school. We have more areas that we cover there. When it comes to ICT So when it comes to ICT, the ICT for customized ICT for educators. I mean educators, I mean teachers, and also school leaders, we have trainings on ICT. The trainings on ICT that are customized include the use of a computer for to streamline or to simplify teachers' roles and duties, as well as use of computers, also to um, simplify administrative roles for school leaders. So, those are major areas, 4 areas, anyways. We also consult for schools in case you need expertise in school growth strategies, in school growth, in staff school mediation, in school parent mediation, teacher performance audit, learners performance audit, and so on and so forth. We do all these services for schools. So that's just uh, about it. And once again, before I will say once again, let me reshare my screen to be, excuse me. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to work. Share my screen to be on our slide for tonight. Okay, beautiful. So you can see on the screen, my name is again is Dr. Adedamola Olofa. I am the lead consultant for Economics Consulting Nigeria, as well as the lead coach for Education Business School. And for those of us that just joined, we are talking about the British curriculum tonight, and we're talking about the subject strands and their nuances. This is an area that for now nobody talks about it. Trainers, experts don't talk about this, but it's a very important aspect of the British curriculum. Some time ago, I posted, I made I posted a digest on the British curriculum, and this is being captured there. And I realized that many people are asking me questions. Excuse me. That's why I thought, okay, let me make it free training sessions. We're going to tell you that okay, that we also you can also invite us for trainings in your school, either in your school or in your professional bodies like NAPs, like armies, like LIMS, like any professional bodies at all for trainings. So when we talk about the British curriculum to start with, it is not just one curriculum. The British curriculum is an umbrella name for all the curriculums made in England. Maybe asking, what it concern Nigeria with the British curriculum for? It concerns us because we are British. We are British. They colonized us. They gave us education. They gave us framework for the education. So we are British. Or if we are not British, our education is British. Forget about what any different modifications that might have been done to it. Our educational system is British. And over the years, because the policymakers in education, especially the ministers of education, the commissioners of education, not many of them were educators. You can see there was a time that an accountant was being made the Minister of Education, and for now, it's a medical doctor that is the Minister of Education. They didn't know much about our field of profession. So based on that, a lot of cut and join, a lot of disjointed policies were being put in place. And also till now, and at the end of the day, let me put it, at the end of the day, our syllabus is not still meeting up with the world standard. I'm telling us, why do you have to go back to the basics? Why do you have to go back to the drawing board? Why do you have to go back to the learning framework given to us by the British when they first gave us education? Why do we have to go back there? It's because they will give it to us. They have improved greatly on it, but our own has become disjointed. So that's why, and then that's more. Number two is that before we used to say that the world has become a global village. That was in the past tense. Now, the world, since the time of social media, the world is no longer a global village. The world is simply the size of a pocket or a palm. The size of a palm, like you're holding your phone in your palm. That is this world size now. And based on that, I'm talking about, I'm not referring to the post I made the other time. But based on that, you don't teach the children only national relevance or national contents because they won't be able to stand out or blend in when they meet with other nationals, or if they have to travel outside the country. But when children who are exposed to global content is with children that are exposed only to national content, those ones that are of national content orientation will feel out of place. And besides, if you think you need to limit children to learning just in national curriculum, in this case, Nigeria, I don't know whether there are other nationals there. Don't forget, these same children, they know more than you're delivering to them through their parents' phones. They have crossed the shore of this country. So why are you not giving them what is less than what they know? You know, that the class becomes boring, if you know what I mean. Like if you have a child in the class that is very brilliant, you know, teaching everybody what he already knows, you know, the very boring to it. So we need to expose our children to global contents, to global contents. We need to expose our children to global content. I'm telling us the reason why it's important for us go to go and to go um and work with teach children with more than national content because the children already they have known beyond national through the internet. So if our government are still giving us syllabuses that are totally non-global. Oh, let me say something. In the history in the history of education that I've witnessed in the past 40 decades, or let me say 50 decades, sorry, 50 something years now, not early 50s anyway. So in the past 50 years that I've known my left to my right, the best and the best and the most relevant to national development syllabus I've ever seen is the one we have now. The one that was just been released last year is the most relevant and the most pragmatic scheme or syllabus that I've ever seen. So I think a kudos to the Minister of Education that we have now, even though he's a medical doctor, he's trying his best. I'm not praising him because of anything. I'm praising him because he is a very wise man, surrounding himself with advisors who are professionals in education. That's how to do things anyway. So now, because of this, we need to go back to people give us learning framework and see how they are doing it, and then do it likewise. I think the government are here to give us syllabus of the global relevance. It's not a bad thing if you go back to the mother syllabus and bring it in and blend it in to a national learning framework. That is why Adedamola Israel Olofa, always advocate for a blended curriculum. You can also call it integrated curriculum, Nigerian British. So now, back to the topic, subject strand system. Strand system. We don't have it in Nigeria. The nuances is general for all countries. Subject nuances, meaning subject tangibility and the subject rationale for creating a subject, because according to the fathers of theories. Uh, uh, okay, according to the scope of education, we have 4 scopes of education. We have, I always refer to it in my trainings anyway. We have history of education, we have the psychology of education, we have the sociology of education, we also have the philosophy of education. According to the philosophy of education, okay, there are reasons why subjects are being created. They are being created to address what are the needs of society. Okay, create a subject that will prepare children to fill in the rules to to satisfy the needs. So, so the nuances of each subject simply means why was the subject created? If you don't know why a subject is being created, we may not be able to appreciate or understand how to appropriately, mark my word, appropriately deliver it. For instance, now mathematics has a nuance. The nuance of math is that every day somebody counts something. Every day somebody multiplies something. Every day somebody divides something. Every day somebody rationalizes something. Every day somebody spends money. Every day we live mathematically. In order for someone to be, for a child or an adult to be able to, or if it's okay, 500,000 naira plus 250 naira, is there somebody trying to, look, crack the brain or uh, 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 doing wrong addition? So mathematics was being created for every day addition of slices of bread, additions of bags of cement, counting the number of clothes we have, the amount of money we have, what we used to buy, what we want to buy, everything. So all subjects, their nuances are the reason they are being created and the needs they are being made to meet in society. So from what I've said now, you can see that home economics, you cannot understand the nuance of home economics now, is that everything in the home, the child will understand it, and the child will be able to carry it out, not just understand it, but also carry it out, fit in, be useful in the family. Economics, so home economics. You can there understand the role of science now in the primary and lower secondary, the role of chemistry, biology. The nuance of biology is that understand everything that has breath, how they grow, how they mature, how they are conceived, grow, and mature. For instance, now, why do we learn insecta in biology? Why do we learn about insects in biology? Why do you learn about insects in primary science and lower secondary science? Why do you learn insecta in biology at the upper secondary? It's because now, when we say insecta, for instance, housefly, for instance, mosquitoes. And then we say, oh, housefly, mosquitoes, they are insect, but cockroach is not an insect, it's an arachnida. Okay, why do you not have to learn about mosquito? Oh, just to know that it has 6 legs. It has a proboscis that used to bite us. It has antenna. It has wings. It can fly. All those things. It has the body divided into 3. Anything like that has the body divided into 3. Head, thorax, and abdomen. They are insecta. They learn life cycle. Why do we have to learn that? It is not what we are being taught or what but teacher is teaching the children now. That is, we have lost the nuances. The nuance of that, learning about mosquito, is that when you understand the life cycle of a mosquito, you can eliminate it and then prevent malaria. When you know how mosquito breeds, where they breed, okay, you can remove their breeding places, broken pots, broken blood bottles, water collected somewhere, or used water drums, and so on and so forth. We learn to come in between the life cycle so that we can cut it off. Then we may have less mosquito or no mosquitoes, and then we can live a malaria fever-free life. That is the nuance, not just the drawings, not just the theories. not just the notes, not just the definitions of this and that. No. So same thing goes for chemistry, goes for physics, goes for government, goes for civic education, goes for English language, goes for commerce, business studies, goes for all subjects. Same thing extend from the nursery right into the university, the nuances. But the problem we have is that nuances of subject are in the way we teach it simply because we don't understand the nuances. That we even someone don't know that subjects have nuances. Once more, the nuance of a subject is the needs it's meant to address in society. So from the point we are this evening, as early as this moment we just started, when you are going back as a head of school or as a subject teacher, you then begin to look for the strands of each subject. That's about now. But the British subjects have some peculiar nuances that we must understand before we can teach it. Thank you very much, Samuel. If not, there's what you call the culture of the British pedagogy. That tells you the way of life of a typical British curriculum trained teachers, or the way of life of a typical Nigerian British academy. How do they teach? What do you look out for? Culture. But what most schools are doing when they call themselves a British school, even the biggest of schools that people pay millions of naira, not many of them understand that subjects have nuances and the British curriculum subjects have peculiar nuances. If you have to teach British subject Britishly, you must understand the nuances. If you will have to teach this curriculum Britishly, you must understand the nuances. Same thing applies to Nigerian, Ghanaian, Sierra Leonean, whatever national you are from. So, and if you get the nuances very well, I tell you, it will guide and guard the way you're going to deliver it. What most schools do is that they just adopt a particular curriculum and they know what that curriculum is, but they always don't return with how to deliver the curriculum. The how of anything in life is more important than the what of that thing. So, what are the peculiarity or peculiar nuances of the curriculum? We want to discuss that one tonight. And please, when it comes to nuances of subjects, it starts from the preschool, to the primary, lower secondary, to upper secondary, and also to the university. It is because universities lost the nuances, course nuances, and program nuances. That is why somebody is going to study mechanical engineering and he can't even change a brake pad after 5 years, brake pad of a vehicle. He can't even clean a carburetor of a generator or service generators, even not their personal neighbor. Because universities lost the nuances. That is why somebody's going to study electrical engineering and he can't even fix a socket in his room. After 5 years, you have to call somebody. The nuances are lost. That's why somebody's going to finish from university and he'll be looking for work, for a job. Come on, that's an error. University graduate is meant to graduate even before graduation, must have been experienced in the field of study is learning. And then typically university graduate should if he's supposed to spend 5 years in university, he must have 5 years experience at the very day he graduates. He's going to spend 4 years, let's say, studying computer engineering or other engineering or studying accounting or studying marketing or study banking and finance, or study whatever. By the time the child is finishing 4 years program, he must have at least be 2 years experience. Is that what we have in Nigeria? No. What? Nuances lost. So we'll be going to the nuances. This idea of tonight is going to help you also in the Nigerian delivery of Nigerian subject that we have. So we're going to the nuances of different subjects. Now you'll be able to learn how many subjects, but I won't be going to the nursery today. No, I don't want to go to the nursery today because it has its own strands. The strands for the British curriculum, this nursery syllabus is the commonest. Let me say the nursery. The commonest nursery syllabus is called the EYFS. That's the commonest nursery syllabus, the EYFS. We have other ones. We have other ones. We have IEYC. We have the EYFS. We have the Cambridge EY. We have many of them like that. But I'm going to do that one. And the strands under the nursery, under the EYFS, is not called strands. They are called early learning goals. Remember, I told you that I am a British curriculum expert, and means that cover from the preschool to the pre-tertiary, from preschool to the pre-tertiary. So the strands, what are strands? Now you've already understood nuances. We started, I think we were about 30 something when you started. Now we're about 50 something now, attendance. So in case you came in late, you need to fall back on the recording of this session. Yes, it's a free session. But doesn't matter. We still have the recording available to you. So after the session, oh, I missed something. Oh, network was worrying me, and so on and so forth. The link will be dropped right there on the WhatsApp platforms, and then you can easily go back and watch it. And please feel free to you can call the whole of your staff in case you're a school leader and show the video to them on a projector or on a smart board for everybody to watch it. You have that freedom, please. Yes. Also, if you would like to have a certificate on this training, certificate is 3,500 naira if you want to have a certificate after this session. All right. Now, and so back to the strands. The strands in the EYFS level or preschool level is called early learning goals. Don't forget that. And then, what are strands themselves? Before I leave this this slide, strand is simply an aspect or a branch of the subject. Let me use a Nigerian case scenario for clarity, for simpler clarity. If you look at English language in Nigeria, we have aspects of that subject. We have in the primary, we have the composition, we have the comprehension, we have the grammar, we have the speech work. Some schools also have what's called dictionary work. In the secondary, we have the grammar. Composition has now becomes some primary call it creative writing, composition, while in the secondary we call it essay writing. Okay, secondary, yeah. So the grammar, comprehension, essay writing or creative writing or composition, and speech work that we have as aspects of English language in Nigeria, they are what we can say to be strands of Nigerian English language. However, you can prove me wrong, you will know that it's only English language in Nigeria that has such aspect. Other subjects, they don't have it at all. Right? Now, that is just the common way to explain strands. Now, let's not go deep to you now. Now, I've already defined what strands is in simple terms. So if I might give you this vocabularies now, you will not see that anything difficult at all. What are strands? Strands are thematic threads, themes. Thematic threads that organize a subject learning objective across stages or across aspects. Okay. So now, and I already told us what nuances are. So I'll be talking about strands, talking about nuances. Okay. So let me see. Okay, now let's start with the subjects we have from primary to upper secondary. Using Cambridge Assessment International Education as a case study for the British. I forgot to finish up what I was saying the other time, saying that the British curriculum is not just one curriculum. It's a collective of curriculums made in England. And we have curriculums made in England made by the government themselves in England. Oh, sorry, in the UK. UK, sorry. All the curriculums made in the UK, not England. Made in the UK, the whole of the UK together. All right. And we have some curriculums made by the government, some other curriculums made by private bodies, like we have NAPS in Nigeria here as well. We also have some bodies like that. We also have some educational institutions that take it upon themselves to also fine-tune the national curriculums we have in the UK. So when we talk about the basic curriculum, there are many of them. We have the national curriculum for England. That's one. There is Cambridge curriculum. There is Oxford curriculum. There is also Oxford AQA curriculum. There is Pearson Electric curriculum. There are many of them. There are many of them. Now, so our focus will only be on, if your school is not running Cambridge, this same idea, you can use it for whatever form of British curriculum that you use. Okay, please excuse me.
On your other leg. You don't know that you will wear it first. Put it in your leg first before you start lifting leg. Play everything you do.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I want everybody to meet themselves. There are people that I'm hearing their voice here. Please kindly meet yourself. Mute yourself. Okay, I think I've muted everybody now just now. So now, where did I stop? So sorry for that. You can remind me. Okay, this is where I stopped. See it now. So far, I want someone to drop for me. One thing you have learned so far. I'll keep talking. I won't stop. Just drop for me one thing you have learned so far. There are 59 of us here. I don't want any sit-down look. Drop something. I have learned this. Now, case studies on Cambridge. Cambridge, now, from the primary level, the only even called primary, the primary level, we have 6 years. Cambridge has 6 years learning structure for the primary, 3 years for the lower secondary, and 2 years for the upper secondary. A child running the basic curriculum spent only 5 years in secondary, unlike the 6 years we spend in Nigeria in the secondary. So now, this just like what we have in Nigeria, we have BEC, and BEC is a 9-year program. Remember, same thing also. The British curriculum also has also 9 years program, 9-year basic. But the basic curriculum, curriculum in the British, under the British, is not called basic curriculum. It's called checkpoint. So what we call BEC in Nigeria is what is being called checkpoint framework under the British curriculum. Now, the checkpoint framework or checkpoint syllabus start from year 1 and ends in year 9. Year 1 to 6 primary, year 7 to 9 is lower secondary. That's checkpoint. After the 9 years program of checkpoint, the next learning years, which are just 2 years for the upper secondary, they are year 10 and year 11. So if you're here and you are in Nigerian British Academy and you're still using basic 1 to 5 or grade 1 to 5. Not bad. And then you now get to the secondary, you're not saying JS1 and JS2. Come on. You're not running Nigerian British, you're running purely Nigerian. Except maybe you're running Nigerian British curriculum just for to make your scheme of work robust. But if you truly you call yourself Nigerian British, then you need to adjust the nomenclature of naming your classes. I say that I want us to drop what we have learned, drop one learning point so far, drop one learning point so far. Now, back to the subject we have for the checkpoint year 1 to 9. They are the same number of subjects. Under the Nigerian curriculum, the primary has think about 8 subjects, yes. And for schools that are religious school like an Islamia, 9 subjects. But as long as, and even for the lower primary, there are number of subjects for the lower primary, upper primary, they increase, lower secondary, they increase as well. It's not like that under the British. The number of subjects each child starts with is what you're going to end up with. If you want me to continue this session, drop me one learning point. Let me know that people are following me. One learning point. Oh, you don't learn anything. Please drop me, encourage my ministry. Let me know that I'm impacting, truly impacting. Drop me one learning point you have learned, you have got tonight. Now, Oladipo, God bless you for the thumbs up, but I want you to help me drop something on the chat box. Okay, you want to record? Please go ahead and record. No problem. So what am I saying? Even if you don't record, we were already recording here for you to fall back on later. Recording will be available. Recording will be available. Now, this and what I've seen on the screen here are the 13 subjects that exist under the checkpoint framework of the British curriculum. Checkpoint syllabus, just 13 subjects. But please, if you are there in the UK, the schools in the UK, they run maximum of 12, never 13. Or a child in the UK, let me use a child in the UK, because some children, when you come to you can see art and design, global perspectives, computing, literacy, English as second language, mathematics, science, humanities, modern foreign language, well-being, music, and physical education. And you can see the number of strands each of them have. Each of them has, sorry. Number of strands each of them has. Now, for English as second language, a school can run the whole 13, but no child can do the whole 13 because a child cannot be offered English and also be offered English as second language. A child must choose either of the two. And if you check English, this English here, you can see this one here, that my cursor is running on top. You see that it has 3 strands. While English as second language has 5 strands. Art and design has 4 strands. Global perspectives has 6 strands. Computing 5 strands. Literacy 3 strands. Mathematics 4 strands. Science 6 strands. Humanities, you can see the strands will be shown to us very soon. Right? I've told us what a strand is. That a strand is simply, an aspect of a subject. But why strand system? That's one of the core reasons why we are here tonight. Why the strand system? Okay? Why the strand system? Okay. So, because of our time tonight, I'm not sure I'll be able to finish the stream, the session, cover the whole thing I prepare for the session, but so let me be jumping guns. before we get to that slide that talks about it. Why is transition? Let's go back to Nigerian context. Why do we have to have why do we have comprehension, English language divided the comprehension, essay writing, grammar, speech work, dictionary work, and so on and so forth? We also have oral English as well there. Why? Well, I don't know why for Nigerian. Let me tell us why for the British curriculum. When I said I don't know why, because I have not seen it being used for any meaningful purpose. Everyone shall learn and learn different different strands of the Nigerian English language. We can now see that even mathematics has strands. Why strand system? The strand system. Okay, let me not jump on. Let's go on. Let's go into the strands themselves. I will be so this now. Let's go to English language. There's a code you can see there. The code is a code from the CAIE. So now, from the screen here, when you see Cambridge Primary English, is the same thing as Cambridge Lower Secondary English. Is the same thing as Cambridge IGCSE English. Oh, sorry, I missed something. The year 1 to year 9, primary to lower secondary, they use checkpoint syllabus. The upper secondary, their own syllabus is called IGCSE syllabus, 2 years program. So when I'm talking about English, if you see Cambridge Primary English, it means English language for primary and lower secondary. But the one thing I say about the Cambridge Primary English is the same thing for the lower secondary. We'll come to, and also for English language, it's the same thing for the senior secondary as well. For mathematics and English language, the strand system for those, no, for three of them, mathematics, English language, and the one they call Cambridge Global Perspectives. The three of them, the strand system in them run from primary to upper secondary. But other subjects, no. The strand system for the checkpoint for other subjects remains remain the same within the 9 years and different after, apart from the English language, mathematics, and global perspectives. Every other strands we're talking about here under the checkpoint remains in the 9-year program of checkpoint. And then at the HSS level, no other subjects have strand system, except maybe they just change it because they change things every time. Only global perspectives. Yeah, am I right? Let me not put it that way. Let me just say that emphasis, only 3 subjects have strand system emphatic from year 1 to SS level. Let me not use that sentence so that I won't be misleading you. Now let's talk about English language. Primary, lower secondary, and upper secondary. We have English language, remember? You see here, English language, and also what? English as second language. Actually, Cambridge has about 6 Englishes. I don't know if that English is correct too. They have English as a first language, English as second language, that's number 2. English as an additional language, that's number 3. English as second language, English as second language, Egypt. English as first language, 9 to 1. English as second language, count in speaking. English as second language, speaking endorsement. There are many of them Englishes there under Cambridge. Please, but to avoid confusion, I can recommend to you tonight that you don't have business with more than, and thank God that they just brought English as an additional language. Before, the most prominent one being run in Nigeria is English as second language. But there's a way the structure of that learning is that we're not familiar with at all here in Africa. So last year, Cambridge just created a new English framework called English as an additional language. We have English as a second language. That one is on its own. It's broken into 2. Count in speaking and speaking endorsement. But the one we have now, recently, we have now as educators, is the latest one created just last year, because there are about 4 subjects that are nearly created last year or nearly created under the CIE subjects. Okay, we have English as additional language, we have commerce, we have psychology, and there's another one again that was being newly created that been added to the array of subjects under the CAIE. Don't forget, I'm not representing CAIE. I'm not working with them. I'm a freelance educator. I'm an expert in all British curriculum, but I specialize on Cambridge. Now let's go on. Now you can see here, English language, 3 strands: reading, writing, speaking. Listen very well. That's the strand. That is the strand. Now, reading is what we know as comprehension. Comprehension and yes, comprehension, yes. All right. Writing, you can call it creative writing, you can call it composition, you can call it essay writing. Then speaking and listening. No, 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 no. This is wrong. Sorry, I use AI to generate this. This is very wrong. And I told you to be okay. That's why I didn't go through it. I'm sorry. For English, I have to do it again. For English language, that is first language, there are 3 strands there. We have reading, there is writing, and there is use of English. Not reading, not speaking and listening, please. Use of English. We all know what reading is. We all know what writing is. But the third one that's supposed to be in that orange color, which is use of English. I think I can change it now. Just let me change it for Ross. Excuse me, so that you can have the correct thing. I'm sorry for this. There are so many things to do, and AI is now a writing assistant, and if my assistant write something wrong, okay, it's pictorial. It's not editable. It's okay. No, voila. It's a diagram. All right, no, voila. Let's go back to what we're saying. Just know it's well, the glory of God, that's how to know an expert anyway. So this speaking and listening is not the third strand under English as a first language. Please, we'll come to English as a second language very soon. So the third strand under EFL, English as a first language, is use of English. Use of English is what we call grammar in Nigeria. Grammar in Nigeria, okay? Now, so that is English as a first language. Now, what is the nuance? You've seen the strand. The strands are 3: reading, writing, and use of English. Now, what is the nuance? The nuance is that anyone whose English is who speaks English as a first language, that person is a native English speaker. Oh, come on. The only thing the person needs to know is that because you can be able to speak a language and you can't read it, so be able to read. We have many people who are illiterate, who are not at all schools. They are in the US, maybe mama or papa, they go to do Omugo, and then when they got there, by the time they spend 1 year, 2 years, 3 years there, they decide to speak, they pick the language and need to speak English, but they can't read. So, there are white folks, American folks, black or white, that can't read. Yeah, I've seen it before. But they speak English. So for you to be a first English speaker, no, a native English speaker, you must know how to read. You must know how to write. And you must know how to construct your sentences very well. That is called use of English. So that is the nuance. So, and as a native English speaker, you don't need more than those 3. Naturally, you don't need more than those 3. Now let's go to the second one, which will throw more light on this one. Let's go now to English as a second language. English as, it will give you more understanding. Now, for English as a second language, excuse me. Excuse me, please. Now, we have the first three strands: reading, writing, use of English. This one is the guy is correct here. Use of English. Then we have two extra strands that are added because it is an ESL. ESL means English as a second language. Do you see that? ESL, ESL, English as a second language. The first one is English as a first language, three strands. And the three strands, they are one, reading, two, writing, and three, use of English. But now this other two is not needed by a native English speaker, somebody born in the US and the UK, or somebody born in Ikoyi, or somebody born in Banana Island, born, no, not brought there, born there, not brought there, or somebody born in Nigeria. No, let me go that one. Somebody born in any English speaking country. When I mean this, I'm talking about native speaking, native English speaking. Nigeria is not a native English speaking country. UK, US, UK, US, okay. Or born in an environment that nobody speaks any other language except English language. There's a reason for that. Because the English we speak, if you're not in an environment whereby you are born and brought up speaking English, in the midst of English speaking people only, forget about it. You are still a second language speaker. That child in your class is a second language speaker. Why? Because there are some English we speak that are terribly grammatically incorrect. For instance, you get to a bus. Let's say you are in the subway in the UK, and then you enter the train, and there's a lady sitting down, and you have to one lady to adjust for you to go inside the same seat row and sit down there. And the lady is scantily dressed, just painting a picture. And typically in Nigeria, for you to ask somebody to adjust for you, you say, "Excuse me, lady, please dress for me. Dress a bit for me. Please dress a bit for me." That sentence alone will land you in jail, may land you in jail. Because we understand in Nigeria that dress means, please dress for me means what? Adjust, make room for me. If you say that one to somebody who is currently dressed in the subway abroad, she will think that you are asking her to go and dress up to cover herself, which is an embarrassment. It's a verbal assault. So you know that one very well. And also the way you pronounce some things, some words, is totally un-English. It shows we are second language speaker. We can speak English, but not correctly. Now you can say three times three is 9. 3 times 3. 3 or you say 3, you say 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 3 squared, meaning mango tree or banana tree times each other. Instead of saying 3 times 3. So if you're speaking English to somebody who's an English speaker and you say, "Ha, when I was coming here, imagine, I saw 3 trees along the road. 3 trees, okay? Ha, please coming back from the training. Thank you very much." So 3 trees. How can it be? Instead of three trees, say 3 trees. Ha, wahala. You get what I'm saying now? So based on the fact that though we can speak English, but our speaking is always confusing, the creator of this language think about the nuance of English as a second language. What are the nuances? Oh, it is for, okay, we have English as a first language for people who are first language speaker or native speaker. But English as a second language, the nuances is that they will learn how to speak right and also how to listen. Yes, we can hear English, but we may not know how to understand. We may not be listening at all. Somebody can be hearing without listening. Yes. Now let me tell you the difference between two of them. Now, me, Adedamola, I'm speaking English now, right? But possibly maybe I'm speaking English wrongly. Why? One, my intonation. Two, pronunciation. Okay. Three, appropriate register. I've given you one now whereby somebody is saying, please dress for me in a subway, and he was arrested. Okay. Now, for the listening, I Adedamola, do you know that even though I hear English, I don't understand, I'm not able to listen to English very well. How? If I am watching an English movie, American movie, people of God, unless there's a subtitle, English subtitle, I'm not able to decode what I hear. Listening means that you hear it, it enters into your ears, and you can decode it. For instance, when I'm watching My Dear is my favorite movie, okay, or any other one at all. My Dear, my favorite movie. Jason Statham is my favorite actor, followed by Denzel Washington. But I beg you, when they are speaking, I am not able to decode what I hear. That's why I'm always very joyful that every English movie comes with English subtitle. Imagine. So for the sake of people like me, okay, who is hearing English but is not able to decode it at all? That strand listening is being added to the first three strands. And then for us to be able to speak correctly and not rope ourselves, they also put speaking so that the intonation, appropriate use of terminologies and slangs and jargons. So that is why we have the nuance of English as second language suggested the strands of English as second language. Same thing, the nuance of English as the first language. That's what suggested the strands of English as a first language. If you got that, please say I got it. If you got that, if you not get the imports of nuances now compared to the nuances, and nuances suggest strands. Nuances suggest strands. Okay, excuse me. Yes, this is English as first language. Now, the nuance is that this is a native speaker. Oh, let's make him. The nuance says he must be able to read, must be able to write, and then use English appropriately. While for the second language speakers, their own is that if people are able to read, write, use English, and then listen. So right from year 1 to year 9, no, to year 11, the content of English as a second language helps a child to practice the art of listening so that you become like me. That I will hear English language, I can decode it, I need a subtitle before I can get it. And also appropriate use of English words when you are speaking. So that is why listening and speaking strands are being included as part of the strands of English language in order to fulfill the nuance of English as a second language. Moving to another language. Moving to another language. Okay. Thank you very much for people who have dropped something they have learned. I've been waiting for it for 300 years ago. For 300 years now. Okay. Oluwadayo learned meaning of nuances and strands. Ifunaya learned the meaning of nuances and its importances. Iwo, her favorite, learned the nuances are things we are supposed to learn and take home from the subject. Messi EJ learn that she needs to know the nuances of the subjects you teach. Nuances focus more on the how than the what. Thank you. That is HCM. Olabisi Akele Strands means different aspects of or branches of a subject in a layman's language. Very correct. Klemoge. Ah, Klemoge, are you still following me? It's been many years that I saw you. In early years, yes, that's our side. Yeah, that's our side. We were the early years people. Now, a learner is supposed to count, multiply, and have something every day. Yes, no, I've learned this transference is an aspect of yes. Thank you, Victor Odurombi, Esther Joshua, Oluwadayo again. User, I don't know, I didn't relay Ogunbangbe. Oh, you're here. Okay, beautiful. Nuruddin. This one, I don't know who's this one. Victor, okay. Okay, more. Okay, you are. So we have, what's a day Eda? I got it. I got it. Okay, thank good, 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 good. Thank you very much. And what I have is less than 20, and we have about 61 here. Can I have more, please? Thank you. To give us more. Okay, good. Now, let's go back. So now we are treating languages now. We combine language now. We have what is called modern foreign language. So modern foreign languages, not foreign language, modern foreign languages, and this one is not one language also. It's what's wrong with this? Excuse me, please. Okay, we have modern foreign language, yes. Modern foreign language is one of the newest uh, subject on earth today, created last 2 years or last year by Cambridge. I think Cambridge is the first to create it anyway. So the nuance of the modern foreign language is that the reason behind it, that no, that means not nuance. The reason behind it, the rationale behind it, psychology, the philosophy of creating it is that CAI realizes that or realized that languages have been learned, have been taught in countries that are not speaking the language. For instance, we know how many years we've been learning. I learned French. That was 30 something years ago. No, 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 40 something years ago. Am I correct? Yes, about 40 years ago, I learned French. From in class one, class two, class three, I learned French before I adopted in class four. Right? So they realized that from experience, because Cambridge, Olubenga Alakija, you want to say something? Ah, okay, let me see. Akija, do you want something? Please say yes or no in the Akija. Thank you very much, Klemoge, Madam Klemoge. Okay. Wow, awesome, beautiful. So somebody's hand was up and is down now. So thank you, Samuel Alexander, teacher, the teacher's place. Uche Diffe, while other people are dropping theirs. Nice. Okay, let's go on because the person who raised up his hand has dropped his hand. Now, the nuance of a subject is the philosophy behind the subject. Why should children learn this? What would they gain from it? What need will it meet in children's lives? That's meaning of nuance. In another way, anyway. Now, Cambridge revises, review. CAIE revises or reviews their subjects every 3 years. And they don't just call first professors to come and revise the subjects. What they do is that they use people who are the end users, teachers in all countries of the world, come tell us what and what you have shortcomings in our subject or gaps or what we are doing. So from there, they use it within a space of 3 years to improve, to review or revise their subjects. So one of the things that have been coming up is that schools in Africa and other countries in Asia, okay, not America, that teach subjects that are foreign subjects, they have not been getting very well. There are a number of people that are here, 61 of us that are here. I'm sure about 50 of us must have learned French language in primary school and secondary school, or primary or secondary school. Out of the 50 of us that learned, less than 5 of us can make 3 sentences correctly in French language. Despite learning it for 8 years, year 1 to 5, JS 1 to 3. 8 years of a language, yet you cannot say to me 4 sentences. Don't forget, you passed it. You passed it. You got good marks in primary one in year 1 to 5. Also, JS 1 to 3, you also passed it. Even the road the other, like, but you can't make, except the one you memorize when you are doing the cultural day or the one you are doing the what do you call it. But say, even to say that thing is over there, you cannot say it in French after 8 years of wasting your time. That's my now. So the nuance of the nuance now of modern foreign language is that at the end of one session, 3 terms, a child learning any foreign language, French, Mandarin, Spanish, yes, French, Mandarin, Japanese, Spanish, Portuguese. If a child learns that language, foreign language, within 2 terms or 1 year, that child must be able to speak the language. Why? Because if a child that's been learning French language in your school from year 1 to year 5, 5 years now, can't speak anything but can write it down anyway, and can read it anyway. But if that child goes to Cotonou just here and spend the summer holiday there and spend 7 weeks only and comes back, he will be able to speak French that he couldn't grasp in 7 years. He will get it in 7 weeks of summer holiday. The same child has to go to France, okay, or go to Cote d'Ivoire or Cameroon, the North Cameroon. That child, less than one term, the child will be able to speak French that he can't speak for 5 years or 8 years. So based on that, this subject was being created, and it has its own 7 strands: listening, reading, vocabulary, speaking, writing, and use of English or grammar. The last one is cultural understanding. Okay. So because thus far, teachers who have been teaching French have been wasting our time, wasting children's time. Because there's what you can achieve in 1 year or 2 years, the child will pick it up on the road, on the streets of Cotonou, or on the streets of Cote d'Ivoire, on the streets of Paris, over there. So they now have to create this subject. The nuance is that bring in France into the classroom through speaking and listening. Speaking, listening. Don't forget that we can read and we can write French, but we don't know how to speak and listen to it. So the emphasis now is on speaking and listening here. That's why the subject modern foreign language is created. So modern foreign language is not really a subject per se, it's a mold, a template of how to teach foreign languages. Number next is mathematics. In Nigeria, math is maths. But under the British curriculum, either Cambridge curriculum, Pearson Leicester curriculum, Oxford AQA curriculum, Oxford curriculum, and so on and so forth, maths is broken into strands. When I finish with the mathematics here now, I will not go to, after science, we have more, but I will not go to, I will not focus on understanding the nuances and strands and tell us why strands system is very important. Why it's very important. Now, if I stop at science and I tell us the whys, WHYS of the strand system, you'll be able to use it for every other thing. Now, let's look at mathematics. Mathematics has strands. Excuse me. There is number, strand, geometry and measure, strand, statistics and probability strand, algebra strand. Yeah, more than the strand you're seeing here. I'm sorry, I did not remember to proofread before I came up here. So the mathematics strands are not for, they're not for. There is number strand, there is geometry and measure strand, there is statistics and probability strand. Okay, you can also call that one handling data strand. There is algebra strand. Aha, I can see that. There's also that one in the blue bar. It's called thinking and working mathematically. So these are strands. Number strand, geometry and measure strand, handling data strand, probability strand, working and thinking and working mathematically strand. There are 6 strands of mathematics. 6 strands of mathematics. Now, I've already given it to you. Now, you will see what are numbers. Numbers are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Numbers are, ratio, proportions, decimal numbers, fractions. All those things have to do with manipulating the numbers. They are all numbers. Geometry and measure strand, how that one is about yeah, all the anywhere you see diagrams, we have plane shapes, 2D shapes, 3D shapes, we have irregular shapes, area, volumes, circumference, everything you have to do about shapes. That's geometry. No, yes, that's geometry and measure. Constructions, shapes, 2D shapes, 3D shapes, and so on and so forth. Find area, find volume, find the measure everything about diagrams, parallel lines, congruencies, similar triangles, similar objects like that. Those are all geometry and measures. Then handling data, otherwise known as statistics. That one is about statistics. We know that one already. Mean, measure, and mode, measure of certain tendency, and so on and so forth. Tally system. Those are what? Statistics. Probability means, you know what it means. Then algebra means the use of letters to represent unknown numbers we're looking for. Well, we know what algebra means. We have finding the unknown numbers, factorization, expansion, completing the squares. All those things about mathematics aspect that uses aspects that use letter. That is what algebra. Thinking of mathematically means the use of maths in everyday life. Now, these are different individual strands in mathematics. Why this? We'll learn it very soon. We'll come back to later. And let's quickly jump to science. And I will likely stop here because I'll pause here and I'll tell us why strand system is being used in the British curriculum. It doesn't matter which of them. Now, for science, listen, for now, I'm focusing on primary and lower secondary. And partly on upper secondary. Whatever thing I said for under English language, this English as first language covers primary, lower secondary, and upper secondary. The strand system is the same from checkpoint English to IGCSE English, IGCSE upper secondary. So the people who are upper secondary teachers will not say, he didn't talk about my own side. No. Excuse me. English language spreads from primary to upper secondary. The strand system is the same. English as second language, the strand system, the primary, lower secondary, and the senior secondary, they are the same. Mathematics, the same also. Okay? The same. The number of strands, 6 strands, is the same number of strands. Number, geometry and measure, statistics and probability, thinking about mathematically, and also algebra. Yeah, the same. Hey. So the nuance is the nuance, as well as the strand is the strand. Are you truly raising your hand or is it a mistake? Now for science means primary. If you are raising up your hand for a reason, Okay, let me. Okay, okay. Hand raise. Oladipo Gubi, I want to unmute you now. Please unmute yourself.
Right. Thank you, sir, Doctor. Thank you very much. I wanted to talk about this. I've had the sixth strand that I just thought to ask, is that numbers and calculation for the sixth strand of the maths? So I wanted to confirm if that's the sixth strand.
Please come again.
I said on the strand, the sixth strand of math that wasn't mentioned. So I wanted to confirm if that is numbers and calculations. So I just wanted to
No,
confirm that.
that word is not inside the strand. The word question is not there. Let me see. Let me hold on. Let me bring out a document from
Thank you, sir.
document from you're welcome, sir. Document from CAIE themselves. Document from them. Brochure. Okay, good, beautiful. Good. I've got it here. So that I will share it with us. Okay. I share it with us on the WhatsApp platform so that we get them. But okay, beautiful. Where are we now? I got this. Now, don't go away yet. You can see what I'm sharing on the screen, all right? What I'm scrolling on, right? You see that? What I'm scrolling? I think it's going to be right. This document is from Cambridge, from CAIE themselves. Okay. Don't forget, I don't work for them. I'm just a British curriculum expert. So I'm continuing this disclaimer so that you won't miss anything. Now, this is Cambridge Lower Secondary. What you are seeing here, as I told us before, is the same thing I'm going to see for Cambridge Primary. Both of them are under one umbrella, Cambridge Checkpoint. The same syllabus, Cambridge Checkpoint. Okay. The number of subjects. Now look at it here. You can see here for mathematics, it's maths here. Let's see it here. The strand under mathematics, see them here. We have number. That's a strand. You can see it. See what I have here. Strand, right? Strand. Number, algebra, geometry and measure, statistics and probability. These are the 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have this is an old brochure. Apart from these 4, we have 2 other ones. Is a thinking and working mathematically, and then one other one I've forgotten the sixth one. It's not what you're saying, right? It's not what you're saying. I've forgotten it. But the five that I remember very well, they are the one I just told you now, the one I just showed you now. Oh, so, aha. So, excuse me. Yeah, you can see here on the screen. I think I have to go and get the latest brochure from them. So we have number. You can see now. This one, when you see stage one means year 1 or primary 1 or basic 1. Okay. Stage 2 means year 2 or primary 2, same thing, or grade 2, anyone call it. So, but we use only 2 nomenclatures under British curriculum. You use stage 1 for your classes, or you use year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, year 9, year 10, year 11. We use stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Those are the standard use for it. So we have number, geometry and measure, statistics and probability, then algebra, then algebra, and then working and thinking mathematically. And the sixth one is one I can't remember very well. Okay, so this is the brochure for it. All right. So now let's now go back to our normal slide. Hey, really? That's beautiful. So we go back to our slide. This is the slide. Can I see the reason why so now that's about mathematics now. Now for maths, for science now, for science subject, what are the strands? This the science subject ends at year 9, which are our own GS3. They're not so, but we have let me not confuse too much anyway. For science, there are 5 strands there, 5 strands. Before there were only 4 strands. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 6 strands. Sorry, 6 strands under science. 6 strands. Forgive me, please. 6 strands. Before there were only 4. There were only 4. There was before biology, chemistry, physics, and then science in context. But now there are 6 strands now: biology, chemistry, physics, earth and space, thinking and working scientifically, and then what? Science in context. Yes, I remember now. I remember the math, the last math strand. The last math strand is mathematics in context. Yes. Yes. So for mathematics, we have numbers 1, geometry and measure 2, algebra 3, handling data 4, thinking and working mathematically 5, maths in context 6. Then for science is similar: biology, chemistry, physics, earth and space, thinking and working scientifically, and science in context. And I said I will stop here and jump down to, thank you, Ladikbo, jump down to why strand system. You already know what, thank you, Oluwadari, I don't know, Oluwadayo. You've already understood the nuances. Why nuances? In fact, no nuance, no space creation. If somebody creates something that is not the self purpose of society, then it's now. I explain to you modern foreign languages, the nuance of it is that to address the need of the shortfalls in teaching foreign languages in countries that don't speak the language, so that within a term or a session, a child will be able to speak that language, speak it. Now, for this science, this at the level of year 1, listen very well. This one will save you a lot of cost in your school. But there are schools handling Cambridge science or British science wrongly. Now, what this thing that I hear, biology is not a subject at this level inside checkpoints framework. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8, year 9 in a Nigerian context. Basic in grade 1 to 5, and then GS1, GS2, GS3. Under the Cambridge science or British science, the biology you are seeing here is not a subject yet, is a strand. A strand like we have it here in mathematics, a strand like number, a strand like geometry and measure. So biology here is not a subject. It's a strand, an aspect, as strandy, if that is correct, as strandy as the way we have strands in English language: listening, speaking, writing, reading, and so on and so forth, and use of English. That is how the one you are seeing as biology here is not a subject, please. Chemistry is not a subject. Physics is not a subject. Earth and space is not a subject. They are simply branches that checkpoint science from year 1 to GS3 are being classified into the way maths, English, and all that subjects are being has been broken into strands. There are schools in the name of physics or in the name of ignorance, teach biology, chemistry, physics at this lower secondary level as subject. They are not. For many reasons, they are not. One, the owner of the framework says at the level of up to year 9, up to year 3, they are not yet a standalone subject. They are only aspect of science. They are not subjects. Therefore, you don't teach them separately. You don't teach biology as a standalone, chemistry, physics as standalone at year 7 to 9. You don't do that. You're wasting manpower, you're wasting time, you're wasting energy. And for many reasons, they are not yet subjects, they are strands. You teach science as science, one subject science, but the way math is broken into strands, the way science is broken into strands. The reason for calling them biology, chemistry, physics at this level is the same reason why math is broken into 6 strands, English is broken into 3 strands for first language and 5 strands for second language. And I'll tell you that other reason for strands. Why strand? The reason for strands at this level for this subject you are seeing here is not for you, it's not for them to be taught as standalones. No, they are not. They are still inside the package of science. If you hear a teacher telling you, I'm sorry, I didn't study chemistry, I didn't study physics, I only study biology, I cannot teach year 7, year 8, year 9, or GS1, GS2, GS3, Cambridge science, that teacher should resign. Because the teacher is deceiving you. Because the biology you see here is simply a name. It's not the chemistry you see here is simply a name. Physics here is simply a name. They are the same very thing that we have in our Nigeria basic science. They are there. If I will not tell you that, sorry, I can't teach this science. Like, there are some parts of this science I cannot teach. Does that not make sense at all? Have you heard it before? So don't confuse biology as a strand, chemistry as a strand, physics as a strand to be stand-alone subjects. They are not. It's only one teacher that has to teach this one. He has to teach it. One teacher. And then, so the reason why they are broken to this, why I will tell us very soon, is not to be taught as standalone subjects. Number 2 reason is that the owner of the curriculum, as I said earlier, did not call them subjects at this point. They call them strands. So why are you now overdoing more than the owner of the framework? They are Nigerian schools. Why? The creators said it is strands. No, they are strands, they're not subjects. Now, we have our time. Let me end up this way. It's 97. Why strand system? It's going to help us a lot. Strand system. Let come in, please. Okay. I'm coming. Okay. Why strand system? Let me pick up another document so you can be seeing it as I am saying it. Okay, good. I've captured primary. I've addressed primary subjects. I've addressed what do you call it? I've addressed primary subjects. I've addressed lower secondary subject. I've addressed upper secondary. But as a matter of emphasis, before I go to why strand system, let me show us. Excuse me. Let me show us. I've already shown us the number of subjects in the checkpoints within the checkpoint framework. What about number of subjects within the IGCSE framework, which is the upper secondary? they are here. Let me show us that before I round off and go to using what do you call it? Using why Strand system. Rationale behind Strand system. Why? Why Strand system? Now there. Quickly, let me show us. Yes, let me show us the subject under the upper secondary that are related to Nigerian context. They are on the screen. On the screen. Art and design. That one also is under checkpoint, don't forget. But we don't go there. Art and design. Accounting. This is the subject for senior secondary under the British curriculum and under Cambridge. Art and design, accounting, additional mathematics, agriculture, Arabic, art and what's the name of this one? Biology, business studies. Yes, we don't have it in the upper secondary in Nigeria, but it is there in upper secondary under the British, under Cambridge. Chemistry, commerce is newly introduced. It was not there before under the upper secondary. Computer science, then technology, drama, economics, English as first language. That's the code. Number 15, English as a second language. Then last year, they just created, because some schools are complaining about the structure of ESL, so they now came up with the EAL, English as an additional language. So I advise schools now in Nigeria to adopt English as an item 16. Then they have English literature, 17, enterprise, food and nutrition, French as a foreign language, geography, global perspectives, history, ICT, Islamiyat. Now this one is not put there. Then we have math, music, physical education. Is in the is in the checkpoint, it's also in the IGCSE. Physics, psychology was introduced last year. Sociology has been for about 4 years now. They also have statistics, also very new, and then travel and tourism. These are the IGCSE or upper secondary subject under Cambridge. There are about 120 subjects, but these are the ones that are appropriate. Some subjects are appropriate to different countries. The one that are appropriate to Nigeria is this 33 in number. So for you to know, you can see the nuance of ICSE syllabus now. Look at those subjects. Enterprise that we will not hear of until you get to secondary, get to university level, is already here at 18. Then we have what do you call it? Psychology. It's a program in the university. Students with sociology, travel and tourism, they are already here in secondary school level because they have been introduced in the past 4 years because the system of the world is changing. That's why they now created subjects that have nuances that can attend to the needs of society. May God help us in Nigeria to get to that level. Okay, so now these are the subjects under upper secondary. Now for this English item 14, 15, 16, I've discussed the strands. Item 26, under upper secondary, I've discussed the strand. The only one I've not discussed the strand is global perspectives. And this global perspectives is the same thing as what we call research studies in the university. This one, matter too. Research studies university. They have brought it also down to primary level, lower secondary level, and also upper secondary level. You can see the power each side blending or adopting the British curriculum with the Nigerian curriculum. So, lastly, why Strand system? So I will now stop here. What happened? Okay, good. Yeah. So why strand system? Just one line, and then we call it a day. We were 61 before, 3 people have left. It's okay. It's a free session, so I cannot wait for that is well with us. Now, the strand system is this. Let me go back to the slide. Yeah. Excuse me, please. Sorry. But let me go back to the strand. Look at mathematics now. The aim of the strands are many. And the number one aim of the strand and other aims are one, to exploit the strand system for differentiated learning. I will explain. Why the strand system? It can be used to offer learning supports, identify learning weakness, know the exact learning support to give. Number three, strand system to make informed decision regarding learning routes for learners. And the last one, strand system for career counseling. Now, let me switch back to our slide to establish this that I said. Now, look at this, my screen very well. Under this strand, you see number, geometry, measure, statistics. Remember, I said it also has algebra as well. Agree with me that many of us don't find number strand in mathematics as a problem or as a big challenge much. Multiplication, subtraction, addition, division. We don't find it ratio and proportion. We find it very as much as most of us hate mathematics. That aspect, we don't find it that challenging until the teacher will get to diagrams, triangle, quadrilaterals, finding areas, finding volume, constructions, use of compass, use of dividers, use of protractors. Then parallel lines are equal, corresponding lines are equal, all those things. Then we get to find it difficult. The most difficult part of it is the algebra. X plus x equals 4. How can x plus x equals 4? It is 2 plus 2 that is equal to 4, not x plus x, because x is not a number. We struggle with that. So it means that, so then they now divided mathematics to based on themes, based on how they get together. Now, the part there is that if a child is being given mathematics questions, it will be indicated that this question comes from number, this one from geometry and measure, this one comes from algebra, this one from statistics. So that when the teacher now marks the questions, you'll be able to know which aspect of math is this child struggling in. Is it in number aspect or geometry aspect or handling data or in algebra? So that you will now know how to, oh, the child is struggling with algebra. Let us support the child in algebra. Or let's support the child to improve in geometry. That is number one reason. It helps to specifically identify the area the child is struggling within the big mathematics picture. The exact area. The exact area. That's the first reason. It helps to identify specific areas to offer learning support. Number two, why strand is this? If you see a typical checkpoint lower secondary results after they write the exam, the syllabus is called checkpoint. Exam also is called checkpoint exam. When you see a typical checkpoint result, it is not a leaflet. It's not just one strand of paper. It is a booklet per child. And the exams they write, though we have 13 subjects, where you should write, you should be offered minimum of 12. They write exam only on 3 of them, only 3 subjects: maths, English, and science. So when you write exam on that, I mean at the primary level, primary checkpoint exam, 3 subjects. Lower secondary checkpoint exam, 3 subjects. It is in the IGCSE upper secondary that they write maximum of 7, minimum of 6 subjects. Okay, the upper secondary. Now, when you see a report sheet, it's not a report sheet, it's a report booklet for one exam. Why? Because on the front page of the report sheet, you're going to see what the child scores in mathematics. If you now flip open the report sheet, you will now see what the child score in number under number strand, what the child score under geometry, what the child score under geometry measure, what the child score under statistical probability, what the child score under algebra. They will separate this because the questions are categorized by strands, but one exam. It's like our Nigerian BST or Nigerian RNV. Inside Nigerian RNV, you're going to see social studies side, social studies side, security education side, religion side, and so on and so forth. And if it's a BST, you're going to see B science, basic tech, PHE, ICT, each of them. So that's how exam is done also in checkpoint level. So now the score a child gets in each category or in each strand will be indicated. Why? Why? Now, let's say a child because maximum score for checkpoint exams is over 50. Before it was over 6 before. Last 4 years, they change it over 50 now. They change a lot of things a lot. So now, if the overall score of a child in science, in mathematics, for instance, now, is 35 over 50. Then you now flip open the result booklet. You now see number. The child got 40 over 50 in number. Geometry, the child get 12 over 50. Algebra, 14 over 50. Statistics, then the child gets about 30 over 50. If you add 42 plus 30 plus 12 plus 15, it will bring the score down to something. At the end of the day, if you child scored 30 over 60, so that child did not do well. Maybe the child got 24 over 60, which is less than half. That the child get 24 over 60 does not mean the child has failed. Because when you go inside that 24 over 50, you will see that there's a place he got 40 over 50, another one he got something over 50. The two other places he got 12 and 15. It's a simple. Now that child will not be regarded as having failed that subject, mathematics. Same thing goes for English. Child can do well in use of English, and he will not do well in writing. We do well in reading. We will not do well in speaking and listening. Doesn't mean that the child is not brilliant. In Nigeria, it is the overall score we look at and say the child is not brilliant. In under British, we don't look at overall score. We look at individual strand score to see where is this child brilliant. Where is this child struggling? Then we offer support for the child where the child is struggling. That is the power. That's the power of Strand, is to offer the child learning support. You see it now. So you must celebrate the child getting 40 over 50 in numbers. Celebrate the child in getting 30 something over 50 under statistics. And then realize that the child is only struggling in algebra or struggling in geometry and measure, and then offer support for the child in that. That is one side. Another side of which where I will go, where I'm going to close is that the score in individual strands that a child gets during primary checkpoint and lower secondary checkpoint before getting into SS level or senior class level is an indicator of the career the child should do in future. Which, if you bring it down, indicator of the program the child will run in the university. If you bring it down, it's an indicator of the subject selections you will give to the child when the child gets to SS1 or year 10. It helps the school counselor, helps the child himself or herself, helps the teacher, and also helps the parent. So that a parent will not say, my child must study law because I'm his son. If the child does not do well, listen, in English language strength like reading and writing, but does well in grammar, speaking, and listening. Because a lawyer needs to write a lot of things and also read a lot of things. And that child did not pass reading and writing. And the same child also under mathematics pass statistics and number, does not pass geometry and algebra, means that that child must not do engineering. And must not do program university that has to do that use geometry measure and also algebra, like medicine, like engineering, like architecture. So the score a child gets in different strands suggests to the teacher, to the child. Some children will say, my best friend, whatever my best friend studies is what I'm going to study. The score per strand will tell the child, see your areas of strength and areas of improvement. Parents will not force their children to do a program in university or choose a program in the upper secondary because the strands, any child that passes number, passes statistics, but does not pass geometry and measure, has no business with engineering, with medicine. Under science, a child that passes biology and chemistry fails, but does not say fail, but does not do well in physics, tells you that that child has no business with engineering, but with medicine and other non-physics related program in the university. Okay, so these are the reason behind strands. Biology, chemistry, physics under the strand system of the lower secondary and primary, telling you that this child is strong in biology and chemistry or chemistry and physics, is pointing to you that the child should go straight to SS1. Don't give them 15 subjects in SS1. Look at let the strand scores guide you. Let the children go straight to SS1 with the only number of subjects they have to do in WAEC, 7 or 8 subjects. Simple. We are doing it wrongly by saying let them do many subjects in the SS1. No. They don't have time for that. That's why some of them don't do well in exams. The strand resource in this thing is already an indicator of what they should be doing in the university or in the senior class. And more and more and more and more. That is the reason behind it. So we have come to the end of the subject strand system and the analysis. I did not finish, but I'm going to drop this one for us. So if you go, you can see global perspectives, you can see art and design, music, well-being. It's a subject, yes. Physical education. These are the subjects that we have, 13 of them. So if you go through them, you'll be able to read them. And look at this one, computing. You can see the strands under computing. And this one also, this one, they are tools and content, safety and well-being, and so on and so forth. While this computing is different from that's a computational thinking, programming, managing data, networks and data communication, computer systems. So they are different. So it helps you to understand what we are teaching. So this is the end of this session. Does anybody have any question? Please raise up your hand and I will unmute you and then you ask a question. We're going to stop in the next 5 minutes. That will be around 10:03 or 10:05 to our time. Whose hand was up that I just saw? Okay, the hand of Awoderu. Awoderu, please omit yourself. I'll take only 2 questions. Awoderu, please omit yourself.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Really good one.
You're
And
welcome.
all your effort, we pray God will enrich you more and more, sir. All right, straight to
Amen.
my question. Just the last part that you just explained that, that channel students on their area of focus so that at least in their year 10, we allow them to just move on with those subjects. But my own focus area is art and design, which I also need students for my, IGCSE for visual arts and design. But if you are using all these subjects that you make mention of, you didn't talk about, because in checkpoint, no arts and design there. But how do we pick students? And nowadays we have students with such talents in drawing and all this composition, graphics and stuff.
No, I
But
mentioned art and design under checkpoints. I just show it to us now. I did
and you
not. I was not
mentioned, but in subject selection, are they going to write it in checkpoint? That's what I want to know
no,
first.
no, 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 no.
Uh-huh.
They're writing
Then how do
only
we
three
pick them for
subjects.
visual art? How do we pick them for art class? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, okay. Now the 13 subjects that they have from primary to lower secondary, they are very, very important to be taught. Don't say because they're going to write only three subjects, you now teach them, you now adopt only three subjects. I suggest minimum of 7 subjects from British to be blended with Nigerian subjects. Minimum of 7. What are those 7? They have math, English, science, computing, literacy, and then humanities. Humanities is another one. Humanities comprises of 3 subjects we have in Nigeria: past, present, and people. PPP. Past means history in Nigeria. Present means social studies. No, places means past, places, and people. Past, history, places, geography, people, social studies. That's how they call it. They don't call it social studies and geography. They call it past, people, and places under humanities in the lower secondary and up and the primary checkpoints subject. If you go, I will drop the what do you call it? The manual for us for free. Yes, for free there on the platform for reference. Now, how do you teach them? To teach art and design, you look for a subject similar to art and design in Nigeria and blend them together. There's a training coming on the way. It is called Pedagogy of the British Curriculum. Pedagogy of the British Curriculum. The training coming on the way. So you are advised to participate in that training. It's an online training. Online training. Look at it here on the screen here. Right? You can see it on the screen, right? Let me see. Let me check it again. I'm trying to show it on the screen, 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 on the screen. Excuse me? Yeah, here. Pedagogy of the British Curriculum. That's a training coming on the way. No, not this one. No. See it here, right? So this is a training coming on the way. It is inside this training we'll be treating how to blend Nigerian with British subjects. British scheme of work and just scheme of work. The training is a 5 days training. 5 days training. So that's where we're going to enter deep into how to blend, but for free now. Art and design goes with Nigerian CCA, Creative and Cultural Arts there. And now also for free, we have art and design. The art aspect of British is everything in Nigerian aspect: drawing, sculpturing, painting, and then dancing and drama and music. That is Nigeria. That is what it captures in art as aspect of art and design. The design is the use of computer for artwork, which we don't have yet in Nigeria. So when you're blending, you're going to make sure that you blend the art side of art and design with all the CCAs of Nigeria, and then add the design aspect of art and design to it. That's how to teach art and design. Same thing also goes for humanities and history. Humanities and social studies and so on and so forth. So there's a way to blend this subject, Nigerian British subject. This will come up in this training that's coming up at the first week of September. That's how I can answer that question. Last question, please. It's about time. Last question, please. Anybody with the last question? Then just raise up your hand or drop it in the chat box. I'm going to call you. Don't forget that we have some trainings coming on the way. Okay. We have this one coming on the way. We also have another free training tomorrow. Another free training tomorrow, also on Zoom, right? On leadership. Leadership, this one tomorrow. tomorrow, 15th of August, 2026. This is also for free. The one we did today is this one. This is free. Tomorrow also is free. We also will be having more free trainings throughout this August and September. Okay, but this one is a paid training session. 5 days. You can see 5 days online training. Okay, so and the price is very cheap, 21,700 per participant. Okay, and the discount of 11% on or before the 30th of August. So if you want to register yourself in a group, this is there. So on this note, we got the quoting finally on tonight's free session for Cambridge educators webinar, the nuances and the Strand system under the British curriculum. With these few points of mine, I hope I'll be able to convince you and not to confuse you regarding the subject Strand system and also the reason the nuances and also the reason behind the subject nuances and also subject Strand system. So thank you so very much for your time. Don't forget, if you need a certificate for this, it is available. Just DM me 3,500, but it is just within now and the end of the week. By the end of the week, forget, there will be no more time for using a certificate. So you need to do that now. Somebody don't drop questions there. Questions here, which I did not see. My children will go back to take the checkpoint exam so I can know their areas of strength and weakness. Yeah. Chioma BC. That's it. Thank you so much. Okay, very beautiful. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to drop a link, Facebook link, for you to write your learning points, on this training, so that you know have you learn two learning points and the action points. Oladipo Ogunbi, you can unmute yourself as we finish up the session.
All right. Thank you so much for the very insightful training. Okay, so I wanted to ask a question as it relates to what we do in my school. So I don't know, maybe it's still under the explanation of nuances and strands. So we do math, and then we now added quantitative and non-verbal to our maths as a subject. So is that under nuances or is under strands or is under
It's
blending? I just want to ask
okay.
for
I've told
clarity.
us that nuances give birth to strands. Remember?
Strands. Yes.
Uh-huh. So quantitative reasoning is a strand under mathematics, but
Okay.
but verbal is not under. It's
Non-verbal, no.
quantitative and
Non-verbal.
non-verbal. Quantitative and non-verbal, they are the same thing. Just names. They are the same thing. Just names. So there should be one, not breaking to two. Can either call them quantitative reasoning or call them non-verbal reasoning. Use only one for them. But they will have different sources where you get them from, right? Maybe you get them from bonds or whatever. So, but they are your own strand of mathematics. It is not a strand under standard mathematics that is British. It is not. It is not. They are learning reinforcement, so to speak. It's not at all under mathematics, so to speak. Yeah, that's the thing. I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So thank you very much, everybody. The link to rewatch this will be dropped. The manual also will be dropped for your references. For certificate, you have to pay for it. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. When I drop the link for you to give me your feedback, don't fall my hand though. Make sure you fill the link for your feedback of what you have learned today. We call it critical thinking strand. Well, it's okay. It's a beautiful thing. It's okay. Oluwadayo, Teniola. God bless you and have a beautiful night. Rest. See you tomorrow on if you're a leader or want to be a leader, leadership training tomorrow, free of charge as well. God bless you and thank you. Good night.